While building a crib for my newborn son, I heard my wife say to her parents, "I don't love him. I never did. He's a paycheck with hands." Her mother nodded, "We'll get custody when he breaks." My teen daughter whispered, "Can I spit in his food?" I kept drilling, never looked up. This morning, she and her mother showed up crying at my door, begging me to talk. So this has been the absolute worst week of my life. Still trying to process everything. Sorry if this comes out as a rambling mess, but I need to get this off my chest. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Some background: me, 38M, and Megan, 36F, have been married for 10 years. She has a daughter, Skylar, 15F, from a previous relationship who I've raised since she was 5. We're expecting our first kid together in about 3 weeks, a boy we plan to name Liam. Everything seemed perfect. Had a nice house in the suburbs, decent savings, and I thought we were happy. Guess I was the biggest dumbass on the planet. Last Saturday, I was in the garage putting together the crib for the baby. One of those build-it-yourself deals from a big box store that has like 500 parts and directions that make zero sense. I'd been at it for a couple hours and was in that zone where you're just focused on not screwing up the assembly. The garage door was slightly open to get some air circulation going. Our kitchen window is right above it, and I could hear Megan, her mom Bernice, and Skylar talking inside. Didn't think much of it at first, just background noise while I worked. Then, I heard my name. Now, I'm not the type to eavesdrop, but when you hear your name in conversation, it's kinda natural to tune in, right? What I heard next literally made my hands freeze mid-drill. Megan was talking to her mom about how stressed she was with the baby coming. Normal pregnant woman stuff at first. Then she started complaining about me, how I was getting on her nerves, how I was too clingy. Then she dropped the bomb that's been echoing in my head all week, told her mom that she doesn't love me, never did, and that I'm just a paycheck with hands. A fucking paycheck with hands. Her mom Bernice didn't even seem shocked. She just agreed, and said something about how they'd get custody when I eventually broke down. Then Skylar, the kid I've raised like my own for 10 years, asked if she could spit in my food. I kept drilling, never looked up, just sat there feeling like someone had ripped my heart out through my chest. I finished that damn crib on autopilot, my mind racing a million miles a minute. When I finally came inside, they were all smiles. Megan asked if I wanted lunch. I just kept thinking about what Skylar had said about spitting in my food. Almost threw up right there, but managed to say I wasn't hungry. Went to the bathroom, locked the door, and had the quietest breakdown of my life. For the past 6 days, I've been pretending everything is normal while planning my exit. I sleep next to someone who sees me as an ATM. I make breakfast for a teenager who wants to contaminate my food. I rub the belly of a woman carrying my son who plans to take him from. The worst part? When I look back, the signs were everywhere. I was just too blind to see them. I've been the one handling our finances since we got married. I make more than Megan does, but I never thought twice about supporting her or Skylar. Paid for Megan to go back to school a few years ago. Bought Skylar her phone, laptop, clothes, everything. All those times Megan insisted we keep separate accounts for independence. Now I know why. Yesterday, I checked our joint account and saw she's been squirreling away money for months. Small transfers that I wouldn't notice. Looked at her Amazon history, we share the account, and found she's been ordering baby stuff to be sent to her mom's house, stuff I didn't even know about. I went through our text messages. So many times she's told me she was working late when she was actually with her friends. Found pics on her Google photos of her at restaurants on nights she claimed to be stuck at work. Nothing that proves cheating, but definitely proves lying. Now I'm trapped in a nightmare. My son is about to be born. I know Megan is plotting something, probably planning to leave once she has the baby and feels secure. And her mom Bernice is in on it. I can't eat, can't sleep. Keep showing her love and excitement about the baby while feeling dead inside. The absolute mindfuck of sitting at dinner with them, smiling and talking about baby names while knowing they think of me as nothing more than a cash machine. I've been secretly recording our conversations using my smartwatch. Got an appointment with a lawyer next. Started documenting everything. Downloaded all our financial records. Taking screenshots of all the evidence of her lying. Every time Skylar asks me for money or help with something, I have to fight not to ask her if she's planning to spit in my food later as payment. This kid I taught to ride a bike, who I took to her first day of middle school, who I stayed up with all night when she had strep throat last year. Now I know it was all fake, just playing nice with the walking wallet. This morning, Megan asked me to paint the nursery this weekend, smiled, and said the doctor told her to take it easy because her blood pressure was up. I smiled back and said, sure, no problem. Inside, I was screaming. I know I need to confront them, but I can't yet. Not until I have all my ducks in. Not until I know I can protect my son. Because that's the one thing keeping me going. Knowing I will do whatever it takes to be in his life. They might see me as just a paycheck, but I'll be damned if I let them take my son. Megan's been texting me all day about baby shower stuff, asking if I can pick up some decorations on my way home, acting like everything is normal, Like she didn't destroy our entire life with one sentence. The absolute mindfuck of all this is that I have to sleep next to her tonight. Have to pretend I don't know that the person I've loved for a decade sees me as nothing but a resource to use up and throw away. Have to somehow keep it together until I can figure out what to do. Sorry this post is such a mess. Feel like I'm losing my mind. If anyone has been through something similar, I could really use some advice. Not even sure what I'm asking for here. Maybe just needed to tell someone. Even internet strangers. Going to talk to the lawyer next week. Going to figure out how to protect myself and my son. But right now, I'm just trying to survive each day without breaking down or confronting them before I'm ready. Update. First off, holy crap at all the responses to my last post. Did not expect that kind of reaction. Sorry I disappeared. Things have been absolute chaos. For those who missed it, I'm the guy who overheard his pregnant wife tell her mom that I'm just a paycheck with hands and they plan to get custody when I break. Also, my stepdaughter asked if she could spit in my food. Nice family, right? So quick update. Liam was born healthy at 6 pounds 4 ounces despite being a few weeks early. I've been living in a weird twilight zone for the past 2 months pretending everything is normal while systematically dismantling our life together. The hospital experience was surreal AF. Standing there cutting the umbilical cord while knowing his mom sees me as an ATM with legs. Looking at this tiny human that's half me and half someone who's been plotting against me. Cried my eyes out in the hospital bathroom. Not exactly the magical moment they show in the movie. I've been executing what I'm calling Operation Ghost Protocol. Yes, I'm a dork even in crisis. Here's what's gone down so far. Talked to a lawyer the day after we got home from the hospital. Cost me $1,000 but worth every penny. Got clear advice on how to protect myself and establish paternity, / custody rights. Started redirecting portion of my paychecks to a new account at a different bank. Not enough that she'd notice our main account changing, but enough to build a safety net. Bought a voice-activated recorder for the nursery. Totally legal in my state before anyone freaks out. Catching all kinds of interesting convos when I'm not around. Rented a small apartment across town. Paid 3 months up front. Been slowly moving essential stuff there when no one's home. Just clothes, some personal items, nothing she'd immediately notice missing. Documented everything. Taking pics of all the baby stuff I buy, keeping receipts, noting every time I do night feedings, diaper changes, etc. Set up a shared folder in the cloud with my lawyer with all evidence, including the original recordings where they talked about me being a paycheck. The most disturbing development happened last week. Caught Skylar actually spitting in my coffee when she thought I wasn't looking. I have a security camera in the kitchen, installed it after my last post, that caught the whole thing in 4K. She looked right at the mug, hawked one right in, then stirred it with a smirk that made my blood run cold. This kid I raised since kindergarten, the one I taught to ride a bike, took her shopping for her first school dance, helped with science projects. All those memories feel like they happened to someone else now. Megan and her mom Bernice have gotten worse since Liam arrived. They exclude me from decisions about my son. Yesterday, Bernice suggested they should take him for a weekend at her place to give me a break. Yeah, right. I smiled and said that was so thoughtful while mentally adding it to my evidence file. The most twisted part is Megan acting like the perfect wife in public, posting family pics on her social, tagging me in sappy posts about what an amazing dad I am. The comments are all heart emojis from people who have no idea what's happening. Meanwhile, she's been texting her mom about how annoying I am for wanting to hold my own son too much. Yes, I can see her texts. Another tip from my lawyer. Cloud backup is a beautiful thing when you set up the family electronics. I've been playing the exhausted but devoted new dad, getting up for night feedings, changing diapers, doing laundry, all while she complains to her friends that I'm not doing enough. The gaslighting is insane. She'll literally watch me do something then tell someone I never do. The hardest part? I actually love being Liam's dad. When it's just him and me at 3 a.m. for feedings, I whisper to him that I'll always be there no matter what, that I'll fight for him, that someday he'll know the truth. Then, I put him back in his crib and go sleep on the couch because I can't stand being next to Megan anymore. My lawyer says I've built a solid case for at least 50/50th custody, maybe more given what we've documented. The plan is coming together, but timing is crucial. Been waiting for the perfect moment to make my exit. That moment is happening tomorrow. Megan, Bernice, and Skylar are going shopping for Skylar's birthday. They'll be gone all day hitting the mall, lunch, then getting their nails done. I've already packed the car with the last of my stuff while Megan was in the shower this morning. The minute they leave, I'm loading up Liam's portable crib, some baby supplies, and the dog. They don't even notice I've been taking him to doggy daycare more often to get him used to being away from home. The hardest decision has been Skylar. Despite everything, I've been her dad for 10 years, but the recorded conversation and the spitting incident, I can't forgive that. She's old enough to know better, old enough to understand what she's doing. Still, Leaving her feels like cutting off a limb. I wrote her a letter explaining that despite everything, I did love her as my daughter. Maybe someday she'll read it and understand. Maybe not. Megan keeps asking why I've been so quiet lately. I tell her I'm just tired from the baby. She has no idea what's coming. Honestly, there is a sick part of me that can't wait to see her face when she realizes I'm not the doormat she thought I was, that I heard everything, that I've been 10 steps ahead this whole time. I keep checking my go bag to make sure I haven't forgotten anything important. Got all our important documents, birth certificates, insurance cards, Liam's medical records, my stuff. It's weird how 10 years of marriage fits into 2 duffel bags and a backpack. Is it wrong that part of me is excited? Not just for revenge, but for freedom, for not having to pretend anymore, for being able to breathe without feeling like I'm suffocating in lies. Maybe that makes me a bad person. Maybe I should have confronted them immediately. Maybe I should have tried to fix things. But you can't fix people who think of you as a resource rather than a person. You can't reason with someone who never loved you. All you can do is protect yourself and the innocent ones caught in the crossfire. The plan is simple. Once I'm set up at the new place, I'll text Megan a single screenshot of the security footage showing Skylar spitting in my coffee. Nothing else, just that image. Then, I'll turn off my phone for 24 hours while they panic. My lawyer will contact her the next day with custody arrangements and divorce papers. Wish me luck, Reddit. The next update will be from my new place, with my son safe, starting our new life. This isn't how I thought my story would go, but sometimes the best revenge is just refusing to be a victim anymore. Final update. It's been 3 months since my last update. Wasn't planning to post again, but so many people DM'd me asking what happened that I figured I owed you all some closure. Plus, writing this out helps me process the absolute dumpster fire my life became. First off, Liam is doing great. 4 months old now and starting to babble. Kid's got lungs like you wouldn't believe, keeping me up all night, but honestly, I don't even mind. Every time he grabs my finger with his tiny hand, I remember why all this pain was worth it. So last time I updated, I had just left as they were heading out for Skylar's birthday shopping trip. Moved into my new apartment with Liam, the dog, and whatever I could fit in my car. The place isn't much. 1 bedroom with a tiny kitchen and a bathroom where you can touch all 4 walls at once. But it's mine. No one here calling me a paycheck with hands. Sent that pic of Skylar spitting in my coffee like I planned, then turned off my phone. Switched it back on 24 hours later to 97 missed calls and about 200 texts. Screenshots of those first messages are saved in my when I need a laugh folder. Started with confusion, where are you? Then anger, answer your damn phone. Then panic, please, just tell us you're okay. Then bargaining, we can work this out. And finally the begging, please come home, we need you. The best part? Not one message asked about Liam at first. They were all about where I was and when I'd be back. Took hours before Megan even mentioned our son. Really showed where her priorities were. My lawyer contacted her with the divorce papers the next morning. Included the custody arrangement I was seeking, 50/50ths to start, with stipulations. Also included copies of the recordings and screenshots of texts between her and Bernice planning how to handle me after the baby came. That's when shit hit the fan for real. Megan and Bernice showed up at my apartment that same afternoon. No idea how they found me. Probably tracked my phone or something. The look on their faces when I opened the door with Liam in my arms almost made the whole nightmare worth it. Megan was a mess. Mascara running, hadn't showered, wearing the same clothes from the day before. Bernice looked like she'd aged 10 years overnight. They stood there crying, begging to come in. I just stared at them for a minute, bouncing Liam gently, then said they could have 15 minutes, but if they raised their voices once around the baby, they were out. The conversation was wild. Megan swore she didn't mean what she said that day in the kitchen, that she was just stressed about the pregnancy, that Bernice pushed her to say those things, that she really did love me, that she couldn't believe I would steal our son. The whole time she's saying this, I'm just sitting there thinking about all the recorded conversations I have of her saying almost the exact same crap when she thought I wasn't listening. Bernice tried a different angle. Started with how disappointed she was in me for breaking up our family, then switched to threatening me with court and how no judge would give custody to a father who kidnapped his child. When that didn't work, she offered money, said she'd help with the rent if I moved back home. The absolute audacity of this woman who called me a paycheck now trying to buy me off. I just pulled out my phone, hit play, and watched their faces as they heard their own voices echo back. Megan saying, I'm just a paycheck with hands. Bernice saying they'd get custody when I broke. Skylar asking if she could spit in my food. The conversation from 2 nights after Liam was born, where Megan told Bernice I was being clingy with my baby, and they needed to fix that. Then the cherry on top, the video of Skylar actually spitting in my coffee. Megan crumpled, started sobbing so hard she could barely breathe, Bernice got quiet in that scary way older women do when they realize they've completely lost control of a situation. Asked if they could hold Liam. I said no. That's when the truth finally came out. Turns out without my income, they couldn't make the mortgage payment. Megan had maxed out 3 credit cards I didn't even know existed. Bernice had been counting on me supporting them all, while they focused on their baby. Finding out I had receipts for every nasty thing they'd ever said about me behind my back, and that I'd been planning my exit for months completely blindsided them. After they left, I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not anger, just emptiness. Like I'd been running on adrenaline for so long that when it finally stopped, there was nothing left. The next few weeks were a blur of lawyer meetings, custody negotiations, and figuring out how to be a single dad. The temporary custody arrangement gave me 4 days, her 3 days each week. Every handoff was awkward AF. She'd try to start arguments. I'd gray rock her completely, just talked about Liam's schedule, handed over his diaper bag, and walked away. Skylar texted me a few weeks after I left, said she was sorry, said she missed me, asked if we could talk. Hardest thing I've ever done was not responding. This kid I tucked in at night for 10 years, the one whose nightmares I chased away. But every time I started to soften, I'd remember her face as she spit in my coffee, the casual cruelty of it. How she must have been doing it for who knows how long. Some wounds don't heal. Court date came faster than expected. My lawyer crushed it. Presented all the evidence, the recordings, the texts, the video. Megan's lawyer tried arguing that I had set them up, that recording them without consent was illegal. It's not in our state. Judge wasn't having any of it. One look at the financial records showing how Megan had been hiding money and credit cards pretty much sealed the deal. Final custody arrangement. I got primary physical custody. Megan gets every other weekend and 1 dinner visit per week. Child support from her to me, which is ironic considering the whole paycheck with hands comment. She had to move in with Bernice after the house sold because she couldn't afford rent on her own. That was 2 months ago. Things have settled into a routine now. I found a better apartment, 2-bedroom this time, with a little yard for the dog. Started therapy, shout out to BetterHelp, worth every penny. Joined a single dads group that meets at the park on Saturdays. Turns out I'm not the only guy who discovered his wife saw him as an ATM. The stories these guys have would curl your hair. Megan's changed too. Weirdly, she's become a more attentive mom during her limited time with Liam. Shows up for every visit, always on time. Text to ask how he's doing on her off days. Maybe losing custody was the wake-up call she needed. Or maybe she's just playing the long game. Either way, I keep everything documented just in case. Bernice still hates my guts. Sends passive-aggressive gifts for Liam with little notes about how he should be with his mommy. They go straight into a box I'm saving for when he's older and asks questions about what happened. He deserves to know the truth someday, but not the sanitized version they'll try to feed him. The weirdest part, last week at drop-off, Megan asked if we could try again. Said she's realized what she lost, that she did love me, she just didn't know how to show it. I just looked at her holding our son. Thought about how peaceful my little apartment is now, how I don't have to wonder if someone's spitting in my food or talking shit about me when I leave the room, and said no. Her face when she realized I meant it. That was the moment I finally felt free. So that's where things stand 1 year later. Not the life I planned, but maybe the one I needed. Liam's first birthday is next month. I'm planning a small party, just us and a few friends. Megan will get her own time with him the next day. We're not friends, we're not enemies, we're just 2 people trying to raise a kid without screwing him up too badly. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. Couldn't have made it through without you all. Life's still messy, but at least it's honest now.